Hi guys, my name's Josh and today I want to teach you how to release music in 2022 and walk you through the step-by-step process of how to release music successfully this year. Let's get into it. So because the process is so long, I've gone ahead and split up the videos into two parts. This video is going to be all about the planning of your release and basically all the stuff you need to do before you even think about putting your music out there. And then the next part is going to be about the promotion of your music. And I'll link the second part at the end of this video. To accompany this video, I've created a bit of a downloadable PDF timeline to help you walk through the step-by-step process of how to do this. It's available for free to download on my website right now, and the link will be in the description for that. I highly recommend you head on over there to get that before you watch the rest of this video, because it'll accompany this video as I'm talking to you about this step-by-step process. But yeah, apart from that, let's move on to step one. So step one is to record a library of music beforehand, and that's because the best way to release new music is to actually release them as singles instead of full albums, and that's to make sure that your audience can get the most out of each piece of music rather than releasing an album and people only listen to, say, 2 or 3 tracks. But to enable you to release singles every, say, 2 to 3 months, you want to have a back catalogue of music available to release and ready to go if and when you need it. And then whilst you're releasing the music, you can actually record more music to keep that bank topped up, and then you've always got music ready to meet the demand of your audience. Always remember to get your songs mixed and mastered, whether that's by yourself or by a producer of your choice. Now, step two is evaluating if the music is good enough to release. And it's probably going to be the hardest part as a creative person, because it's incredibly subjective, and choosing whether or not you want to release your music dependent on how good it is can be rather hard. One of the best ways you can do this though is with a focus group, and that means sending your songs to, say, your most trusted industry contacts and get a bit of feedback on what they think of the music. This will then allow you to work out whether or not it's worth to be released or it's worth working on that music a little bit more. Now, at this stage, I'd also recommend you don't send it to friends or family, because they're probably going to be a bit biased about always loving your music, but make sure you send it to people who are going to give you genuine feedback, such as journalists or friends who are in the industry, and even maybe a couple of venue owners. Those are the people that are going to tell you whether or not that music should be released. Now, step three is to upload your music to your DSP, meaning your distributor. Now, this step is so early on in the process because you want to make sure that you upload your music early on in case there are any issues. And that's because different distributors work slightly differently. So if there's something that goes wrong just before you release, you've got plenty of time to fix it, such as uploading artwork, sorting out your metadata, sorting out your tags, sorting out your descriptions. You want to make sure that the music is there, ready to go, well in advance before any of these issues crop up. And then finally, in this step, you need to decide the release date of your music and mark it in your calendar. And then step four. This is a very important step, and one that many musicians and artists often tend to miss, but it's the one that's going to allow you to get paid for your music. And that's to register for royalties. Now, royalties are owed to you whenever your music is played, but those royalties are collected slightly differently for the different settings in which your music is played. So some distributors might collect these royalties for you, but if not, it's very important to register to royalty collection agencies so that you can actually get paid for the music that you've released. And the royalty collection agencies that are in the UK are PRS, MCPS and PPL. Now, PRS will collect the royalties for you when your music is played live in a setting such as at a venue or at an open mic. Now, PRS also control the royalties for MCPS, which means when your music is redistributed or copied as a CD or vinyl, the physical music. And lastly, PPL is the royalty collection agency that collects royalties for when your music is played in a public setting, such as a barbershop or on the radio. And it's also important to note that if your music has been placed on, say, TV or video games, that those royalties are managed in a completely different manner, and it's usually decided between you and the company that's using your music. Always make sure that that's bound by a contract to control that as well. And then step five. Now, again, this is a very important step and one that is also missed by many musicians and artists. It's pretty much as important as collecting royalties, and this is to conduct market research. Now, market research is basically what it is in the title. It's research on the market that you are pushing your music out to. And you want to conduct market research to find out who your audience are and how to reach them. Now, this can be done in numerous amounts of ways, but the main three ways are interviews, surveys, and again, focus groups. And the type of data you want to be collecting on your audience is who they are, how old they are, where they live, what gender they are, and basically any information that's going to help you find out how you're going to market your music towards them. And this step is especially important if you're just starting out, because you'll probably have no data to work on from previously releasing other music. And then step 6, we are on to branding. In this step, you want to establish everything to do with the physical look and feel of your music. You want to define the colours and the fonts that you want to use, but also the way that you want to be perceived by your audience. However, the two most important things to do with branding is to decide on your logo and your biography as an artist. This is because these are the two things that new potential fans are most probably likely to see for the first time, and it's going to help them convince them to listen to your music. Your logo can be anything from, say, an icon or a photograph of yourself, and your bio should be something that describes your music and gives a feel of what your audience should expect when they listen to it. And then step number 7. Now we're going to be talking about your marketing budget. Now, when it comes to the budget for marketing your music, this is totally down to you. And you can market your music for free, but it's going to take a lot longer. You're going to need to invest some money anyway to buy a distributor for your music. But if you want to invest a little bit more money, you can buy things like merchandise, touring, a music video, and even a photo shoot, even graphics to do with your social media, or your logo, or your artwork as an artist. And investing just a little bit of money can go quite far in your music career. As a rule of thumb, I always recommend that you spend at least half of your overall budget on marketing, because if you're not marketing your music, then what's the point in making it, because nobody's going to hear it, right? So you do want to set aside a fair chunk of your overall budget on the marketing. However, this also depends on how savvy you are and how much you're willing to hustle. And then we're on to step 8, which is the artwork. Now, you can do this for free using tools like Canva, or even say a photograph that you've taken of yourself or some sort of surrounding, maybe outside in nature, but you can also invest a little bit more money and spend it on a graphic designer to design a piece of artwork for your single. Just make sure that the artwork accurately represents the music that you're releasing, so your audience knows what to expect when they see the artwork. The artwork should be a visual representation of what the music sounds like. And also make sure the artwork fits into your overall branding, including your logo. Make sure that there's elements in both that match up to provide your audience with an overall picture of your brand. And then step 9. Now's the time to get a bit funky, street your stuff, and get a photo shoot done. And this is again especially important if you're just starting out, because it's likely that you've not got many pictures to do with your artist as an artist portfolio, and professional pictures at that. You can take the pictures yourself, but you want to make sure that these look clean and tidy. And that's because these photos are going to be used in your press kit, which gets sent to magazines, newspapers, blogs, and radio stations, and anywhere else that you plug in your music. So you want this to look as professional as possible so that the media and the press take your music seriously. Again, make sure that these photos tie into your overall branding. This has got a lot to do with how your audience will perceive you and how you want your brand to be seen by the outer world. And then step 10, nearly running out of fingers now. This is about your EPK, or electronic press kit. And an electronic press kit is basically something that you will send to the press aside from just your photos. It's usually in a PDF format, and it includes everything from photos of yourself to links to your music, to your biography, and anything else that you will use to get the press interested in your music. And this especially includes a press release. Now, the best EPKs and the most professional looking EPKs are the ones that have a little bit of graphic design incorporated into it to make it easy to read and to make it attractive for journalists and other people to get to know you and to get to listen to your music. And then step 11. This is about your marketing campaign and tying together all the things you've done to plan for your music release. Now, this is a document that's going to tell you how to release your music and include the dates of when you're going to do anything to promote your music. It'll include the release date of your music, the release date of your music video, and then the release dates of any social media posts that you're going to put online to promote the listening of your single. And overall, generally, it's going to explain how you are going to reach your audience. It can be as simple as a, say, Google Calendar with the dates of when you're going to post on social media, to as complex as a complete rundown of everything you're going to do with dates and descriptions of how you are going to do it. However, this is also the time to buy or write a press release, start collecting emails of magazines and radio stations and anywhere else you're going to plug your music to, book your shows, design and order your merchandise, and tie everything together to prep for the release of your next single. You should also create a bit of a hook as to why people should listen to your music. This could be a slogan that you could use in the whole marketing campaign. It could be something related to you and personally why you're releasing the music, but make sure that it's something that the press can dig their teeth into and give your audience a reason as to why they should even listen to your music in the first place. Now, this whole marketing campaign can take up to 2 weeks to plan, so make sure that you start it well ahead of time in phase 1. But note that it's a process of elimination for when you actually get your photo shoot done and complete the creation of your EPK. And that sums up the planning of how to release your next single. Like I say, I'm going to be doing a part 2 video on the promotion of your music release, which will be released later in this month, and if it is released, it'll be linked up here right now. If you did enjoy this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing and hit that notification bell to get a notification whenever I upload a new video. My name has been Josh and I offer management, marketing, press and PR and event services for musicians and music businesses. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in getting involved with, you can find out more on my website or feel free to send me a DM or send me an email using the links in the description. Until next time, I hope you guys have a good one and I'll see you later.